4 minutes to the top of the hour 10, and joining me on the phone line now is Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. He's the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC. Doc, thank you for your time. Assalamu alaikum.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
Greater than Accra.
It is well.
Now, yesterday, the process of the exhibition of register began. So far, what would you say has been your impressions, especially for day one and today being day two?
Very well. As of yesterday, as usual of this electoral commission, they will never get anything right. The registers they sent out to the districts were not correct registers.
Eh?
Not all the districts have the full complement of the registers as to be exhibited. Registers to be exhibited should be a composite register of 2020, 2023 limited registration, 2024 limited registration, and then the mop-up. So these are the registers that should be in one document, a composite one, sent so that people can check their names. What we saw is that a good number of the districts or constituencies didn't have this composite registers. You will go to some constituencies, they have just only the 2020 and 2023. They don't have 2024 and mop-up. Some they have one, some have two, some have separated as of yesterday. This is what they are doing out there in the field. Also, we've also seen some few challenges of swapping of names and then changing of people polling stations. And also, you see, this issue, when we talk about them, people say we are always hit on them. We always tell them that this IT department will mess up this country. That is why when the Peace Council came, we told them in their face. Because this issue, when we're talking of peace and peace-based, and you are not interested in whatever goes on in the Electoral Commission, that is where the flames will start burning from the country. So we are clear in our mind and we are monitoring closely. We are still checking the register closely because, look, these registers that you have it, ask them, what is the total figures that they have? They can't tell you. They can't mention the total figure for you.
I see. Now you tell me, your party chairman yesterday, locked in a meeting with the National Peace Council, put his cards on the table, suggesting that until those prerequisites are met, there's no way your party is going to sign on to a peace pact. The National Peace Council says, let bygones be bygones, and let's all come together for peace. What do you say?
That we told them they should just stop it. They should stop that idea of bygone be bygone. We don't want to hear that story at all. This country doesn't belong to one group of people. It belongs to all of us. We made it very clear to them in our mind. The fact that you are ruling the country doesn't mean that it belongs to you. Today you are there. Tomorrow another person is going to sit on the chair. And then so behave so that posterity can judge you well. We cannot continue this way. Just because somebody wants to be a president, others must die for that. We don't accept it. We're not going to accept it. And that is why we are tying in the security agency. We told them, the security people, they have handcuffs. They have guns. They have the wherewithal to stop these things. You, the Peace Council, you don't have anything. So coming to tell us this kind of story is rather going to annoy us even more. That is why I say they must be the first people who should be committed to the peace of this country than you ordinary people just like us, because we don't have anything that can prevent an illegal activities going on in the country. You, the security people who have it, that's why we're calling on the IGP to be the first person to sign on to it. The CDS, the Chief Justice, the Attorney General, and he, the President himself. How are we going to sign into such an agreement when all these actors of the state who are not interested in the peace of the country? Because you hear the story of the president, his utterances, his statement on platforms, and he's supposed to be the first gentleman of the country. And so if a person like that, who is supposed to oversee, he's the chief commander of the Ghana Armed Forces, and yet he makes utterances that borders on national security, and nobody can even call him to order. You are rather coming to call to we the ordinary opposition political parties that we should commit ourselves to peace. On what basis? There can never be peace without justice. when you are talking of peace, be interested in justice. And that is why we are very clear in our mind. And yesterday we're happy our national chairman hammered home our grievances and told them, without this, don't bring any peace into us. Don't forget this country belongs to all of us. It doesn't belong to one group of people. We are all Ghanaians. And we all have stake in this state known as Ghana. And so we are all working towards that. But if we have state actors whose behavior is injuring the security of the state, and you don't see anything wrong with it, you are coming to tell us we should let bygone be bygone, then they'll go and kill another person. That was how we signed the Security Pact Peace Agreement 2020. And they went ahead and killed the people. After killing the people, they went and declared themselves because the Electoral Commission declared the results.
But how do you conclude on a matter that is before the police and it's under investigation that they went and killed the people? That's not fair, Doc.
Don't you have all you want is to give you the footages of the shootings? When they were shooting this in Techmasa. It's all over the place.
92.
They were shooting the people. The people died, or they didn't die. The people died. People shot them. People were on uniform shooting them. Who deployed them? Don't they have the deployment this thing? Who did the deployment? Who was the commander of the fleet that went and shot the people? So when they are talking of evidence, sometimes we ask ourselves as if we are coming from some jungle state that we don't have apparatus or intelligence wing of our security agencies. What are we talking about? That is what we told them yesterday, that look, we are now living in a state where today, if I slap you, you will get away with it. Nobody will mind you. But tomorrow, if we are voting and I kill somebody, so long as I sing a particular song, I will get away with it. But now today, if I slap you, they will arrest me, go and put me behind bars for slapping you. And they will first start it in making sure that I get to Sawan for slapping you. But tomorrow when we are voting and somebody take a gun and kill an innocent elector who is just going to elect his officers, that person there, they will tell you that they cannot find evidence to prosecute the one who killed. This is the state we are living. And somebody will come and tell me that let's bygone be bygone under this behavior. It's not going to be bygone be bygone. And that's why we told them, this country belongs to all of us. And if you think that this group cannot do the work, they should get out. They should leave the scene. So that when we come, we will make sure that this kind of characters, behaviors that is disturbing the peace of the country will be thing of the past. It won't happen. And that was why we're telling them about this thing. And so, note that, and interesting, we even mentioned it to them that, look, it's rather NDC which is interested in the peace of this country. Because some of the ills going on in the country, especially under the watch of Jim Mensah and all that, if we're going to be reacting and reacting always, this country would have been in flames right now. Because just imagine under CCTV surveillance, people will go in and steal laptops and BVRs. And up to now, they can't even trace anybody. They can't even get evidence of what happened. CCTV cameras, which is running 24 hours, with military men all over the place, policemen cordoning the place. And yet, somebody managed to pass through all this security and made away these gadgets. And yet, we are still talking about it.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you this quickly. The Electoral Commission still has not found the machines that went missing. You are Deputy Director of IT and Elections of the NDC, and this falls directly on your lap as well. What does the NDC think of those missing machines?
Of course, our suspicion has even reason to a red alert now, based on the Electoral Commission behavior towards the register. You realize that they were finding it difficult to give us the register. They were dragging their feet. This is our suspicion. Why were they dragging their feet in releasing the register? If you knew that you had nothing to hide, what stopped you from giving us the register? So all along, we have been suspecting that it's like this thing they said is missing, it's not missing. Because how come the Electoral Commission is finding it extremely difficult to release a simple provisional register, which you compile way back, as far back as May 29th, you had finished the main registration. The mop-up registration was just 3 days, which was online. So if you are doing an online registration, what difficulties do you have in putting the figures together within 24 hours? If you really have serious IT people, not that kind of Kokofu IT guys they've put in there who are using Coral Draw and putting a figure.
Oh. Are they using Coral Draw?
2.7.
When in this country, when they came and addressed press conference and told us that they were mixing up the numbers because they were using Coral Draw. This is the kind of IT the Electoral Commission is using.
I see.
That is the situation we have found ourselves. And so if we don't sit up and control ringing the kind of songs like peace pact, and we are not interested in the process that will lead us to the peace. But we are rather talking of, look, what they came to do yesterday was, they were interested in the event. That's what they came to do. They are interested in what happened on December 7th. It's not our interest. Our interest is the processes that lead to the December 7th. We are not going to fold our arms and allow some crooked guys to mess up these processes. By December 7th, then they'll just come and dump any results on Ghanaians and say that this person is elected. And so we should accept it. We are not going to accept that kind of process. That one they will accept. And that is why we are scrutinizing everything they bring on our table. We are telling them, like what they did, that press conference they held a day before yesterday, announcing that they've given us our hard drive, the PVR, and all that. If they hadn't given, we told them, if they hadn't given, we would have injuncted it, we would have stopped the process, because that was going to be an illegal thing that we're coming to exhibit.
Now, finally, before I let you go, we are going into an election. Your base is charged up for victory in 2024. The MPP's base is also charged up in 2024. Are you okay with the current arrangements in terms of internet connectivity and collation and all the arrangements that have been put together by the Electoral Commission so far?
We are not satisfied. That one day I can assure you, we are not. We are still with them and trying to fine-tune some of the processes. We are not. In fact, it won't be long. You will hear from us. Because the EC has started another move and we will stop it. We are not going to allow it.
What move is that?
The Nigerian man, they say they did wise. We are monitoring every move of what they do over there.
I see.
When we went to the last IPAC meeting and told them about the internet issue, about their registration, they told us everything was fine. But you saw the 3 days registration they went and did. There were breakages. For about 2-3 hours, their offices were not functioning because the network was down. Interestingly enough, these elections have nothing to do with internet. You know, our electoral system has nothing to do with internet, or we are not doing electronic voting or e-voting.
Right.
Yeah, we don't do it in Ghana. And so we don't also transmit our results via internet or anything.
Right.
That's not what we do. We do manual transmission. So we are clear in our mind. That is why we said that we must comply to the CI 127, which states very clear that when you finish the pink sheet on the polling station, post it at that polling station. A copy must be posted there, and which we have made them. And I was happy Jim Mensah mentioned it to the parliamentarians, and they continue to say it because they have not been doing it. And that is why they changed pink sheets. When they put the results at the polling station, everybody in that community will now see his or her results. This is what I voted, and this is my results there. So that no crooked person will go and change it at the collation center. And this thing we are doing, and I'm assuring you that if all these things are complied, and no crooked person goes there to misbehave with the figures, John Mahama should get at least 54% of the votes count. Because these people are completely, don't you know that when they went to their manifesto, they were also singing for change.
Right.
They were singing for change. I don't know which God or the Holy Spirit descended on them to be singing change on that place. And so when Ghanaians are crying for change, they are also there singing change. I don't know which change they were looking for.
I see.
So we are clear in our mind, and we are ready for them, and we are saying that we will protect the democracy of this country. We are for peace, but there cannot be peace without justice. That one day we are very clear in our mind. And look, the onus lies on the hands of the IGP, the CDS, and the president himself. president, who is the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces and the first gentleman of this country, he should sanitize his utterances. And we are saying it that he is not the first president of this fourth republic. There have been other presidents, and they handed over peacefully, even when they lost elections. John Dramani Mahama was a sitting president. He was going for a second term. When he lost, he honorably handed over to you. Was he not the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces then? Didn't he have all these things? If he was not a gentleman or a peace lover, we would have rocked the boat. But that time, the electoral commission was not trying some electronic things. And they had problems with that. But you see, we all love the country Ghana. We want peace. We know 4 years. When the 4 years came, look at what they did in 2020. Up to now, my brother, there is no gazetted result. And I want you to be interested in that. The 2020 result, up to now, electoral commission has not gazetted. There's no gazetted result.
But why have you sat down for all these years before talking about it this year in an election year?
No, we've spoken. Why is it that she ran away from the court docket? That was the reason we wanted to cross-examine her. And the court shielded her and said she should not be cross-examined. And since then, have you heard them talk about the gazette results of December 2020? They don't have.
Okay, Doc, we have to leave it here. Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer is the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC. We're grateful for your time, sir. Good morning.
I'm grateful, my brother.
Okay, and we have to be getting ready.